Gods and goddesses in training, welcome back to the channel. It's Uncle Makra. Today we're talking about a really interesting topic, okay? Might be a very controversial topic about servitors and tulpas, okay? Now, this is a very important topic because a while back on Reddit, there became a whole subreddit on tulpamancy. And this was the idea that you could create imaginary friends that you could respond to with your mind and that you could speak to, and they could do things for you, okay? Run different missions and so forth. When I was a little boy, I grew up already doing this unconsciously, not even knowing that I was doing this in a sense, because we as kids, we create imaginary characters all the time, you know, and it's not this very cut and dry process. I will give you the process today, by the way, of how to do this. However, be warned, you're entering this video at your own risk. This is all your responsibility. Make sure that you're an adult. Make sure that you're taking all responsibility for your actions, okay? Let's get started today. First of all, we're not self-inducing schizophrenia, okay? This is not something genetic. You're sitting down and carefully constructing a character for yourself. A lot of C words, right? And also, you're keeping them suspended in time if they ever get too unruly. I mean, a lot of people, you know, have talked about this topic. It's interesting because the word comes from a European writer who went to Tibet. I think it was the early 1900s. And there he learned about the local Buddhist practices of Vajrayana. And it was kind of poorly misinterpreted, I would say. It's actually pronounced sprulpa. This was actually a meditative technique for focus, for compassion building, because you're talking with an actual being or entity that you're creating yourself, right? But now this word tulpa is now introduced into Western folklore. So anyway, I'm not an expert in that field, but I will tell you the process that we use in Primal Sutra to create tulpas or servitors, okay? So this comes from the concept in Vajrayana Buddhism of something called emanation bodies. Let me tell you something. Predictable is very good when it comes to magic. Let's get out of the controversy realm and let's get really practical about this. All you need is a pen and a paper. I want you to draw the character that you are creating. It could be a very bad drawing, but when you draw it, you're actually constructing it, correct? It's quite difficult to construct it in your mind, so if you're a cyber shaman, you can even create the thing in AI, okay? So great, now we have a particular image that we're focusing on. Actually, now that I think about it, one of the most effective things you can do with our particular path working is create a servitor for health, one for wealth, and one for relationships. These are areas that all of us need to improve on, okay? So when you make it according to those three, you don't really need to worry about the rest, do you? I mean, yes, you can have little tasks here and there, but those being like the three arches that you really need beings for, okay, to represent in your life. Of course, you can choose regular deities to help you with this. This is just more for effectiveness and using the three specifications rather than, 17 or whatever. These could be household spirits who help you with chores. This could be an aura spirit that helps you, maintain bliss or abundance in your aura, whatever you want. You could create a specific servitor to get people more attracted to you and so forth. The perception gets influenced. And you also need something called a kill switch, a fatal flaw. This is if it ever goes haywire or rogue, which there are a few spooky stories, I think, in the Reddit as well, that some people ended up creating a lot of strange beings, like, especially if you're mentally ill and you're having a lot of nervous breakdowns and things. I don't require you delve into this world because you might be unconsciously just creating these creatures or beings that, you're creating from a very wavering foundation, if that makes sense, right? You're not stable in yourself and in your mental world, so they will be unstable creatures, if that makes sense, okay? It comes down to really planning, right? Now you have the image. What is its specialization? What is its life purpose? What do you want this particular being to do for you? My advice, don't give a servitor or tulpa, we're using these terms interchangeably now, more than one task. More than one task is very difficult to handle, especially for a consciousness that you are generating yourself with your own energy. So you could say like, inspire me with the right words to impress this one person when we hang out at that one event. And then after that servitor is done, it disappears after its job is done. Okay, you could set a kill switch like that. Make sure you're naming it. Remember, a name is 1/3 of a soul. So start to understand that when you're naming it, you're making it real. You're making something actually a thought form, okay, that will respond back to you if you give it enough energy and time. So for the fatal flaw, you want to give it 3 ingredients that's fail proof, right? That just basically destroys the servitor that you've created. So it could be like red ink, pineapple juice, and saliva or something. If you have it on a particular object, or if you have it on a particular part of your body, you can rub it on there or whatever, right? Or you can like clean it with disinfectant, or a kind of like sea salt soap is one that we use to cleanse our aura. So basically the best way to do this is to do this for a while. I would say at least 4 days. At least 4 days. You can go much longer, and the longer you go doing this practice, it's basically gonna make the being very powerful and very effective, okay? So the more energy you give it, obviously, the more it'll impact you. Now, after you do this particular meditation and visualization practice, where you're envisioning this being right in front of you and almost imagining going from its little finger, creating its hands, or creating its entire body, right? It might not even have hands, whatever, however you imagine it, right? You're imagining this being from its smallest point to slowly creating a whole visualization. You're getting better at visualizing. You're getting better at feeding it energy. Now, what do you want to feed it? I would not recommend, if you're on semen retention, to give it your ejaculate, okay? Don't do that, because then it might just ask it more and more, and it's a bad idea, okay? You can feed it with emotions. You can feed it with energy like gratitude or acknowledgement. You can also feed it with any specific smells or energies that you have, like essential oil smell or something like that. You know, it might have its own interests and specific things that it likes or wants, okay? But just with you giving it your positive intention, it will grow into something powerful, right? So create a name for it that's different than any other name that you've ever heard in your life, okay? The reason I'm saying this is you can't name it like Fred or something like that, because there's so many Freds. Fred Flintstone might come into your subconscious and start to mess with it. So you actually have to create a neologism, a word that is not a word yet. You will invent the word for it. You'll call it a different name, no other name you have reference for in your mind. Of course, you can have certain servitors with other spirits, energies associated with it, and so forth, but that gets very complex. We're not covering that here. If you want more practical advice, and if you're actually uncertain about this practice right now, as I'm telling you, join the Path Working. We have 2 slots open for the Mystery School. So if you're watching this right now and you're interested, sign up. For this month at least, we have the discount going, 30% off, okay? After that, we don't know what's gonna happen. It's gonna go back to $99, okay? Now it's $69, okay? Which is a good sign. So if you're a perv, sign up, okay? But you need a call word that you summon it with. You need a name. You need a life purpose for it. What is its intention? What is it there to do? Write your intention down very clearly, okay? Make it a long intention. Don't just be like, it gets me hydrated every day or something, like, you know, make it very specific. So be careful what you wish for, in a sense, okay? Don't just give it a random thing that you know will have consequences later. You have to be very specific with your words and choices. So if you decide to do this practice, you can confirm with me, like, is this okay for an intention? And just, you know, shoot me a message. If you're in the Adepts program, of course. You can do that maybe outside, but then I might not help you because you're not investing in me. So yeah. But I'm generally a pretty friendly, helpful person, so I might. Depends what you're bringing to the table, right? So we also have scholarships for people who want to do research on this path working, or media interns. If you're good at reels, if you're good at like making content, we're definitely looking for more people around that who, if you want this information, you will have to trade your work time to create this content for us, and then you'll get access to the mystery school. So that's a way that we do it with internships, which we've been doing right now. Then you can create an anchor in the real world, like I said, like the sea salt, or rubbing it on the specific area. Let's say you have the servitor in your elbow or whatever, you just rub it with some kind of a lotion or a balm, right? Something like that. So you anchor it in the real physical world somehow. It's always a good idea to do that. Some people have it like on an object, like you can have it on a ring or something like this, and that's powerful too, but beware of how you're charging it too. There are ways to do that. You can burn incense around it. You can do lots of practices and ritual practices with this. And finally, I would say have a dwelling place for this being. Where does it live, okay? This can be a place that's very different from the regular world. It can be any world that you imagine for it, okay? And this is very powerful because it's almost like a Pokemon living in a Pokeball, right? You have to understand, is the Pokeball cozy for this particular being that I'm creating, right? If it's something that affects you while you're swimming in the water, and you make it live on land, like you're not doing it a favor. It's not gonna really support you or be your best friend, okay? Again, we're treating these virtual assistants, okay? It's like AI, artificial intelligence, is virtual intelligence, okay? So this is a sentience. This is a responsive entity or being that's speaking back to you, and you have created, okay? You're like Frankenstein, using your mind to create these images, these colors, this symbolism. Think about this, right? Let's say J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling created Harry Potter in this giant world of Hogwarts, right? Now she has created a thought form of Harry Potter. Now kids go and pretend to be Harry Potter at Halloween and so forth, right? They put the little scar here, they have the little glasses. They know that this is a particular magical being and a character. Daniel Radcliffe is now associated with the same egregore. Think about this, guys, okay? Now, imagine Harry Potter as a construct, as a tulpa, right? He would probably be thinking, who is my creator? Right? What does my creator want from me? Same way we are thinking, what is God's plan for us? See? So does Harry Potter know the existence of J.K. Rowling? And is that our creation with our creator? Okay, it's just something to think about. I just thought of this right now, but I think it's a very important topic and something we could bring up and maybe discuss. And again, you want to create a lifespan for it, of course. And, do we need an ethics department for these things? Maybe. Okay. Are you going to create one that lasts forever, right? Just a protective one in your own space that protects you for the rest of your life, and then after you're dead, it kind of disappears? What is its lifespan, right? Usually after they do everything that they can to get the objective or task done, they usually disappear, or they're free, right? You set them free, kind of like Dobby the house elf. I'm free, okay? What you can do is you can use a particular, I like to use mandalas. I think having a focal point is really important in meditation. So what I'll do is I'll sometimes create these mandala beings that kind of weave. So I like to create a sigil for my servitors or tulpas. So I will have particular sigil I draw out. By the way, if you don't know how to draw a sigil, I mean, that's like third grade science, okay? You can Google it. It's pretty simple. You just write out your intention and slowly cut out all the vowel words out, and then, take those words and make them symbolically pictorial in some way. And then, of course, you boil it down even further, you simplify even further, and then it's just it looks like a symbol. And that symbol then becomes a personalized sigil for you, for that particular servitor, that you can use every time now. Now you can just use the sigil to call it forth or summon it. So you can either use a call word or a sigil. 20 to 30 minutes, you focus on all of your energy rising up to your third eye. So basically, in the first 10 minutes, you're just charging energy up to the third eye. After that point, you're taking all of that energy and projecting it in front of you, almost like you're speaking to this being. Okay? And you're allowing yourself to just stay there. Maybe you're just staring at it for a while. Okay? Try this for a while. You might not be going for, half an hour with this thing. But the longer you do it, the more effective it will be. And if you do this at night, I'm saying at night because sometimes this can drain your energy. It's not a bad thing that it's draining your energy. It's not like, demonic or something like that. Obviously, if you use energy to do anything, you're gonna lose your energy a little bit, right? So specifically when it comes to creating a whole spirit or a life form, you're gonna use a lot of energy, actually. Okay, so that's why I recommend you do this practice before sleep, because then once you're tired, you can just go rest. And the good thing is, you can also, if you're very good at lucid dreaming, you can have this communication with this being in the dream world. And so you can actually, maybe as you become a better lucid dreamer, create its dwelling space for it in this dream world and almost have it be like a lucid dream on demand. But that place you can also recreate and bring into your visualization and meditations as you're creating and energizing the servitor or tulpa. So I hope this makes sense. I hope this is a powerful video for you. This is just kind of beginner level 101. And remember, this is your responsibility, okay? Be smart about this. Understand that there might be, pitfalls and loopholes, and, you have to use the right strategy for this thing, okay? Which is why before I go ahead and make any of these beings anymore, I'm gonna speak with my business partner, Ryan G, as we create them together for our particular path-working Primal Sutra. We already have different beings that we work with in this particular path-working. That's been very beneficial, actually. It's improved my life in many ways, okay? So, again, meditation doesn't just have to be, it's gonna bring me a peace of mind. Meditation can be a beautiful experience where you're creating a friend from scratch, okay? Like, think of this like you're creating a robot, right, to get your job done for you in some way. There's supplemental helpers, right? And they're gonna help you get the job done. And again, I've opened the door for you. Now it's up to you to walk in, okay? But I hope I explained enough in this video. And, I hope that you guys have a proper understanding of how to use this for your benefit, because I think a combination of this with our other tech can be monumental, okay? Let's get it. Upward spiral, gang. May we never be the same again. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're new. May the flow be with you, and may we never be the same again. Os.